Pappy out, let's talk it out. What's it like? What's life all about? Oh, Pappy out, say your piece. Laugh at yourself, slap your knee.
Recorded at Flipside Theater in Superior, Colorado, this is Pappy Hour with your hosts, Lucas Buddy and Eric Thompson.
Wow, Brett Nickerson, what a great interview. We just continue to have just these dynamic personalities that come on the show. And it's, every week's an adventure.
And it just so smooth. I mean, it just flowed. You guys are going to hear it. It's just great. And, you know, the theme is we can do better, guys, and keep after it. Talk with others about parenthood, you know, anybody you can that's a parent, and just share out, you know. Yeah,
and just keep showing up, too. I mean, even when it's difficult, people go through things like divorces and deaths in the family. I mean, as they say, shit happens. Right. You still got to show up, and it's important.
And as he talks about is really being present, is stopping what you're doing, build that line of trust, and go from there. So this is a good one, guys. This is a lot of fun. Hey, we're at the flip side. And this is Pappy Hour.
Let's
so
do
we
it.
have to build our set, or build everything every time, which is a fucking pain in the ass.
Right, 100%. 100%.
It's like, I'd love to have a place with just chairs that are there already.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like
man.
Lafayette, too. So.
Wait, when you say you have to build everything every time, you have to build
you
like
don't have
your
to
seating?
build it, but the seating, we have these platforms.
Oh,
we got to bring the chairs in that are in a room. You got to move them out. It's not like Lafayette or Longmont where it's a theater.
Yeah. How are we with the sound on this?
Sound is great.
Is it? Okay, good.
Sound,
you've got a good
I got it set really
too,
good first before we started recording, which we are doing right now.
We're recording, baby.
We're live right now.
It's Pappy Hour.
Just three dads sitting around chatting, talking about what cool adventures we have being dads.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
And today, Brett, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
We just want to get your whole story, your point of view on dadhood. So when we always start off is, what was your life like? Who were you before
that
you became a dad?
I did read your questions, so I
tried
to get the
You're
wheels
prepared. An actor prepares, as Stanislavski says.
That's funny.
So I was a later in life dad, as I would say. I was so when I met Summer, you guys know, she had a daughter from a previous marriage.
Okay.
So that's when I started dating her. Her daughter was in the picture, so that's how I started as a dad.
Sure.
Yeah. Prior to that, you know, I was single guy, dating. I had some, you know, long-term relationships, never turned into anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I can honestly say, since the age of 16, I knew I wanted to be a dad.
Oh,
one of those weird people.
And what was that lead? Why was that so strong?
Was it your own dad? Was it another dad or other people in your life?
I think it was just, you know, I consider myself an empath. You know, it's how I look at it. I feel everything. And I just, you know, part of it is trying to make the world a little better place.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one thing you said in the thing that I read is there are things that we might cut out. And there might be one thing here that I'm going to cut out, and that is I love my dad.
Yeah.
But challenging human.
Sure.
Challenging human.
Yeah.
My brother and sister and I will all say that. I mean, I love him. I just saw him this weekend. He's in Alabama. He's almost 93 this week, so he's still kicking.
Yeah.
And I'll just say it honestly. It's like, I was like, I can do better.
Sure.
I hate to say it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've talked to, listen, my dad he's a challenging human being. Yeah. My mother tells him every day. She keeps telling him, like, you know, listen, you keep messing around, you're going to wake up dead. And I'm like, you guys, are you okay? But he was a really challenging human being whenever I was a young kid too. And I think that part of like, a big reason why I wanted to be a dad was very similar to yours. You know, I felt like there's a better way to do this, and that's not to say. And we talk about this all the time, and we'll continue to say it. I really truly believe that our parents, just like us and the parents before them, were doing the best with what they have. And that is so layered and complex. What I'm saying there, mentally, education-wise, monetarily, there's so many things there's so many variables at play, and we could have no clue because most of the time they don't talk to us. But that's a great reason.
Right.
And
I think one of the other things, just to piggyback on that, I think all three of us seem like we have the other half to our amulets. But I think that we're looking at changing different cycles. Like there's still plenty of things that I do hold on from what I learned from my dad.
Yeah.
And then things I purposely changed because I saw how it played with him. But
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. So, so that was, early on I felt that way. And, I wasn't like trying to find a woman to have a kid, I wasn't in this zone. And I've always liked kids, but it was just something I feel very strongly today and going forward. And now that I am a dad, oh my God, it was like, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
And, so like I said, when I started dating Summer, she was going through a divorce and, and her daughter's, Sky, her dad, he's a good guy, but I was there a lot, because Summer had, way more custody. So I was just around her a lot, and I loved being around her and going through the cycles. And then obviously Summer and I ended up, having Eliza, just a couple of years into it, and it changes everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a dad out there that would say anything different.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, it changes everything.
Totally, huh?
Everything. And you have this little part of you that's like walking around in the world, and you're like, oh, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, at 43, having your first kid, so to speak, I mean, I was ready for it. I'm sure all of us have had friends that like 21 and their kids, like their entire 20s was being a parent. And I feel like I've said to my girls, it's like, wait till like your late 20s or 30s to have a kid so that you get to experience life. Right. So, I came ready. It's like, I have to stay home on a Friday night with my kid. I'm like, yes, please.
Sign me up. I got to go to bed at 9:30.
Right.
Let's go.
So it's just like,
I do love watching Nemo over and over again.
Not another nap.
Exactly. So everything's a trade-off, right? When you have your kids early, you end up being done early.
Yeah.
Right? So, Eliza likes to remind me, she's like, you'll be 65 when I graduate high school. Just about. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm
going to be an old dad, and I can't change it.
Same here,
Yeah. So, here you are. You're going, all right, I'm going to be a dad. I got to wait 9 more months, but you see it happening. And then that kid is in your arms. Where are you that moment?
Gosh.
So I remember it as clear as day. So Summer had it's getting a little bit of detail. So we ended up having to do a C-section because she had one for her first.
Yeah.
So we had it planned, which is, of course, is the most lovely thing in the world.
Right.
It's like, show up at 8 a.m. on Tuesday to have your baby. It's not
like the drive-through birthing almost.
Here we go.
So it was, and I was in the room, obviously, and I burst into tears.
Sure.
When the baby came over, and I kind of looked over. The blood doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
No.
I looked over a little bit, and it was funny because they were like, the nurse was like, Are you
good with
this?
Don't
do that because he just didn't want me to collapse.
I would say so vagal immediately. They'd be doing more work on me than my wife.
And that was fine for me. But I cried.
Yeah.
Right? And I was just like, I can still remember it just saying, we did it.
Yeah.
We did it because we got to the other end and it was successful. And, one of the things, and I don't know, I'd love to see a sociological study on this or biological.
Right.
And this is not a dig, but Summer, when she had her first child, she was in a rough part of her marriage.
Sure.
It was kind of a difficult time. Mm-hmm. But when she was with me, and we were right in the beginning, we were still
so fresh.
honeymoon.
Right.
And I'm like, what does that do to the mom?
Right.
Just like psychologically, the brain triggers
the
like
physical part too. Like the chemicals that are flowing through your body. Like every day you're in a happy mood and you're raising a kid versus the opposite. And I don't know. There's probably some biology.
I'm interested to know though too. Yeah.
It is a head scratcher.
Absolutely.
So these are the deep thoughts you have sometimes.
Yeah.
And Eliza, to me, and her sister is wonderful. She is a great kid.
Yeah.
But Eliza was just this easy kid.
Nice.
High energy.
Yes.
Very, very chatty like me. This is an hour. I'm like, I could go for days.
Totally.
I'm definitely a chatter, and I get reminded of that regularly.
That's funny.
It was wonderful. And my mom came into town, so it's Eliza's my parents' only grandchild. My dad got remarried, so he has some kids from that, but my mom's only grandchild, and my siblings live abroad, so that I don't get to see them very often. So, we're like Eliza and I,
You're connected.
We're very connected. Yeah. I'd like to think so. Every parent wants that, and I think we're good.
Good.
It's funny. I was looking. Some of the questions. And I don't have them in my head, but it was like, what did you try to do? So like, for example, when Summer and I got divorced, divorce. So now I'm in that
It sucks.
and it sucks, right?
Yeah.
But I went out of my way to say, we're going to make this good for Eliza. Because at the end of the day, I don't fucking matter. She doesn't matter. Eliza matters. And Sky matters. And that was the other thing that was hard is when Summer and I got divorced, I basically lost Sky.
Sure.
But I'm still really close with her. I don't see her much. She doesn't live with me.
Sure.
I give her presents at Christmas and all that stuff. And all.
I mean, once you're family, you're family.
I text her.
Yeah.
But, that was one of the, and just to get into the divorce side of it, I had to make a very conscious thing. I was like, this has been my daughter for over 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let her lose me because that happens all too often, right?
Yeah.
Where suddenly it's like, oh, I'm not her dad anymore. I'm not her mom anymore. And they just pull away.
Sure.
And as an adult, it hurts, but the kids are the ones who feel it.
I don't know.
most,
Do they even
right?
understand that? Like to them, it's like, yeah, you're getting divorced, but it's still, you're still my dad. You're still my mom. I've never known you as anything else other than that. So that role still exists.
Yeah. And
It does. I think the tear part is really difficult because you want them to be together. You've heard things, and family is everything. I mean, having worked with families that really have struggled, very dysfunctional families in my career, that love is amazing. And you're like, God, how can you love that parent because they're so just destructive? I'll use that. And even if it's amicable, it is a change. And for Sky, I mean, this is 2 times now, and oftentimes kids can internalize it and say, "Oh, this has got to be me again."
That's what you don't
and that's
want,
and that's
right?
the frightening part,
that's
and
the
that's what
fear.
you're trying to.
I didn't want that at all. And that's the thing is, back to our earlier part is doing it better this time.
Sure, yeah.
Whether it's through divorce or whatever, because I mean. Here I am. I just turned 59. I've been out on the dating scene, and I can't tell you the number of women I've gone out with, and you have a conversation about their circumstances, and the dad's either not being present or not being good or one thing or another, and you just sit there and shake your head. I'm like, fuck, guys, we gotta do better.
We gotta do better.
We gotta do better.
Yeah.
And I was just reading the questions. I have noticed this in the last couple of years, just walking around Louisville. I've been in Louisville for like 27 years, seeing the number of dads who just have their baby on their, that the dads are out walking the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it's happening more and more. It's just, I say this all the time. Eliza will hate it when she hears this. We're a young species, and we're still developing as a species on how to do this better. And now men are starting to get more involved and realizing, like, I didn't have my dad present. I need to do that better for my kid. And what does that look like? I made a rule for myself right when I started becoming a dad. And I know this is going to sound weird, but whenever my girls I'm with Eliza. Whenever they call my name, I answer immediately.
Right.
I don't do that thing where you watch a movie and they're like, Dad,
Dad.
Dad, and you're just not paying attention.
Right.
Like,
You're present.
Yeah, just be present.
Well, because they build, like, to your point, they see those patterns and they recognize, like, and then you build that trust of, like, I know when I call for my dad, he's going to answer me.
Right. Yeah, and I want them to feel that way.
Of course, that's great.
I want them to know I will be there in a drop of a hat, that's not, I'm right at that age, Eliza's 14, and it's right at that age where she's more into mom. Because all the girl things are going on.
A lot of things
and her mom's wonderful. I mean, Summer is a great person, and, I say this all the time, like, if one of us were to give up custody, we'd be like, I'll take her 100% of the time.
Right. Yeah.
She would take her without even a question versus like, it's going to disrupt my social life. Just like, screw your social life.
No, she's a cool kid.
You brought a kid
That's
into the
great.
world, so, stay on it. And I lucked out. I mean, that's the way I feel about both of them. Sky just got accepted to college.
Oh, nice.
I
Now,
know.
are Sky and Eliza close?
They
still?
are, yeah.
Good.
I mean, they do 50-50,
Right, okay.
and it's
So
a little, so they don't overlap as much. Just Sky, she's a senior.
Yeah.
She does 2 weeks, and Eliza does every other, so they don't see each other, but they are close. They're not quite 4 years apart. And they're very different, which I think is good. And the fact that they do not see each other as much, they don't have that time to like fight against shit. Right. Yeah. I mean,
the sibling rivalry is different. It's just like, oh, good, I get to see you, and it stays pleasant rather than
distance does make the heart grow fonder.
Right? It does, and it's just the nature of the beast, right?
Sure.
I mean, they don't have a choice in it. They've gotten good at. It's interesting. We had this conversation recently. Sky going to college, and she was saying, I was talking to her mom, and she was like, when I go to college, this is going to be the first time in my life where I live in one room all the time.
Oh my God.
Right. Your reaction is the same reaction I had. I was like,
interesting.
oh, I never thought about that you've never stayed in the same place. Especially Sky. I mean, she was doing it since before she was 2 years old.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But what it also does, though, on a positive, is it makes them, they're very good at flexibility.
Transitions, flexibility. That is a good, good aspect.
And I know their mom had the same thing because her parents got divorced when she was young, so she was raised with that.
Right.
You know, I came from static. You know, I was like one middle school, one elementary school, one junior high, one high school, 2 houses. You know, it shouldn't have been that way. I mean, I hate to say it, but my parents probably should have been divorced long ago. They got divorced when I was 21, and I've said that to my mom. So you know, it's not.
This isn't a surprise.
No, it's not a surprise, but you just go, you know, and then back to the parent thing, you know, my parents are from the silent generation.
Yeah.
You know, and you think about what they came up with, you know, born during the Depression,
you and I
World War
similar,
II, and parents who were from World War I. You know,
parents
it's
coming out of the
God.
Depression, having to scrape by. Yes, you got it. And then, like you said, that quiet, right? But it was nuclear family. And you were like, well, we're just stuck together. And then, yes, my parents split very late as well. And my sister and I were always like, you know, starting pretty young, going, okay, who would you rather live with? and it didn't have. We didn't have to happen that way, but it was difficult to watch. Right. And so it was. You do take things personally. You get frustrated. And you sometimes question, do I know what love is or how to love? And ours was I know the love was there, but it was a 4-corner house, and everybody was in their different corners. So that was something like you've done, is being very conscious to be a part of the kids' lives, being involved. And I really appreciate what you said was, I'm responding. You ask me something, this can go on pause or whatever I'm doing, I can hear you, which is you were saying, Lucas, too. That you build that trust line, they know they can count on you, especially in a difficult thing. As I used to tell my boys, you know, I may not always like your choices, but I will always love you. So, you know, I'm here for you.
Yeah, and I'm always, you know, and I think Eliza hates me sometimes because I'm always trying to import, you know, I call them dadisms.
Yes, right.
You know, it's like we'll be driving in the car. I'm like, well, that's a dadism. And, you know, or I'll be like, don't yell at the cars quite the way I do when we're driving. You know? Although I keep telling her this is one of my things. It's like, I think one of my proudest moments will be when I am in the car and you're driving and you get pissed at another driver. I'm going to be like, yes, you have achieved adulthood when you're swearing at the other car. That is the transition to adulthood.
There you go. That's
you don't know
one.
it until you're there. Oh my gosh. So I want to know, like, all of the stuff that you've been through, what's some advice? Let's speak directly to the dads that are listening that are maybe about to go through this, or maybe they're dealing with a difficult situation like a divorce or something like that. Is there any, we call it bar stool wisdom, any bit of knowledge that you want to impart on some dads?
I definitely have a lot of wisdom, whether I can pull it all out of the air right here. But, you know, some of it is what I've already said. Being present. Show up to all their games and all their things. It's not that hard.
No.
You know, life gets in the way, you know, travel for work and you can't be there. I get it. But go to all those things. Be the one who picks them up and drops them off. You know, be consistent. Like one of the things when Eliza was just a baby, you know, infant, and you know, we were all going to parties and things like that, but I became militant on sleep time. Like we'd been at a party having a great time. I'm like, nope, we got to go.
It's
got to be down at 6:30, whatever it was. And it paid off. Eliza's a great sleeper. So those little things, you know, and listen to other adults. Like we've gone through this shit. You know, I listen to, you know, it's so funny. Eliza's such a good kid, and people be like, oh, wait till she gets to high school. And I'm like, I don't know. She might do okay. And I'm like, nope. You know, she's having trouble. I mean, she's a great kid, but you know, drama's drama. You know,
it is. There's challenges. And anymore, I mean, like I remember, you know, there are things that we worried about in the 80s and 70s as kids, right? But nowadays, there's so much information and so much easy access to so many different things. And you're just like, I actually don't know how to assist in certain avenues, right? So my boys are now grown, and so I'm just like, okay, you guys made it, as we used to tell the boys on their 20th birthday, great, you made it past teen pregnancy. That's all we asked for, right?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Don't even say that. I have so much time before I have to worry about that, but I now worry. Oh God,
man.
she's gonna be great. She's a really smart kid already, but
Yeah,
but mistakes will happen. But,
Yeah.
And you're just like,
100%.
okay.
And again, I don't always love
Right.
your choices, but I always love you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And what did you glean from your experience? So were you really proud of it, or are you going, gosh, I would have done it differently, right? Is what I asked.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've done a decent job.
Right.
Yeah.
It's you just make it up as you go.
You do.
I would say to any other dad, I was like, be involved. Like,
Yeah.
change the diapers, feed them,
Right.
all the things.
Yeah.
I use this is a weird metaphor, but like I like to mow my lawn. It's not big.
Okay.
But I live on a street where I think I'm the only one that does that. Everybody else has somebody. But the thing I like about it, and also cleaning my house, is because it gets you familiar with all the different parts of your house. And it lets you know, the grass is dying over there, or there's weeds over there, or the fence needs to be fixed
Yeah.
because I'm around it. If you're never doing that to your yard,
Yeah.
you kind of lose touch with that. And
Right.
there's a lot of things like that. Cars, take your
Right.
pick.
Even
But
your body, even yourself, even your mind.
Is you got to pay attention to it and get into the weeds, and
Yeah.
that's what I think men need to do more.
Yeah.
To be a better parent is do exactly what mom's doing. And
Right.
Yeah, society tells you don't have to.
Right.
Gender roles still exist all over
it's
the world.
wild, yeah.
Where it's like
It's still blue and pink.
but this is where we're a young species. We're just
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to do it better. Yeah, if you go back to like caveman times, the guys were the ones who went out and killed the bears
right,
because they were
sure.
stronger, and I get it. But
Yeah.
if you want to have equality and make a kid trust their dad,
Yeah.
and not have, you know how it was. I mean, you and I
Yep.
are similar age where it's
Yep.
like, oh, dad's babysitting tonight.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's
He's
dad
be present.
tonight.
Yes, I'm being dad. You
That's,
got
and,
it.
it's all those little things.
Yeah.
And I would say that to any does, just get into the
Yeah.
weeds. And it's
Yeah.
not hard. Yeah. Is it hard? Yes.
Yeah, but you
And
can
are
do hard
women-
things.
Yeah.
And are women a little better at it than us? Yeah.
Sometimes,
I mean, you're the one who
right.
carried that kid for
Yeah.
9 months, so they have an attachment
Yeah.
that we'll never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
But they
And-
also have, I think, like generations of practice at it that we lack.
There's like
and
an
I wonder,
innateness to that, you
yeah,
said.
and I wonder
Oh.
if we start to normalize that. Like kind of behavior and thought process that if in a couple generations maybe it might become easier for more men
Right.
to do. So I think just like you showing up and being that kind of dad is setting a precedent that other men can follow when we model and they mirror. So keep
Yeah.
doing it.
I mean, a lot of it is just, like for this podcast,
Yeah.
when I saw it on there, I was just like, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't even a question. And I've told other people that I'm doing this, and like, oh yeah, that you need to do that.
Yeah.
Because they just know who I am and how I am and
great.
how I want to. I was just, the whole thing about women. It's like, why do men have nipples?
right.
Why do we have
You know what I mean? Like, are we?
It's for piercing. It's just.
But you know what I mean? All these, I know that's a weird thing to say right here, but it's just like maybe we're kind of like women, Maybe 100,000 years from now we're
We're gonna evolve.
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
if you know
Honey,
much,
no teeth, not the teeth.
listen,
Just weird. I think of weird shit like that.
Yes.
Sorry.
I do
Well-
too. I love you. You go there.
I hope a doctor out there somewhere corrects me, but if I'm not mistaken, we are all born very similar. It is not till a later stage in the gestational period that our genitals actually pop out. And
Boing, yoing, yoing, yoing.
Boy,
That's
not
what-
like that.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, maybe. No shame if that
I don't
happens.
know, that's what it
it's
is.
natural.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's recording it like here.
That's what it is.
but yeah, I mean, we're really not that dissimilar. I mean, there are. Listen, there's a lot of paradoxes in life. We are very different, but we're also very similar in a lot of ways. And let's not focus on what does it matter for if it brings us apart. If we focus on the differences, like it's much easier. I've tried it, like just like
Breastfeeding?
No, yeah. Stella, I'll tell this. I've already told this story on here. I won't
Good.
repeat it, but sometimes they don't know the difference between nipples. I'm just saying that. Anyway, in a dark room. Did you have something you were about to say?
You know what I was going to say? What I appreciated a moment ago that you said was share with others. We've had a lot of guys on here. We brought it up, and Pappy Hour is kind of built of like, hey, guys, share your story. But you really brought it up to be open and say, share your questions and wonderings with women, too, because they also have a different perspective or a different experience. And it is And talk about being a little bit more, allow yourself to be a little more vulnerable.
Yeah.
It is asking those questions like, hey, I'm unsure about this. What has your experience been? And you get good feedback. And somebody else, the other sex is like, wow, cool, you're curious about that? I love that, right?
Yeah.
But for everybody, do ask questions. Check in. You're not alone in this, right?
Yeah.
And I think everybody on this cast for all of our shows has mentioned something like that, of reach out to others because it is beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I appreciated what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's all important. I mean,
Yeah.
so there's lots of different routes to take, but
Right.
it is, we're figuring it out as we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Well, I know that. Listen, this has only been 24 minutes, but we have gone
Got through a
through
lot.
so much stuff, and I feel like just the wealth of knowledge and appreciate your candor, and we've had a lot of fun talking about fatherhood, and I hope that people that are listening get a bunch out of this, and so we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
And I sent this in the Google Calendar invite, but I don't know if it's, maybe I need a better way so people see it. But did you prepare a dad joke?
I did not.
Okay.
I missed that. So.
That's fine. So that's actually on me.
That's on Lucas.
We're working.
Gosh,
I know.
I bet you've got one, though.
I probably do if I sat here and thought for a minute, but
Good.
that's
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing for too long. At 59, man, your brain
Yes.
is just like,
Shoots out.
what? I don't remember that.
The beauty of recording on here, though, is that the listeners will never know that.
Yeah.
So we could just like cut and we edit it out.
Yeah.
And then we come back with asking you the same question again.
Yeah, or in 5 minutes when we shut off and you're just like, hey, that was really fun. Oh, yeah, now I got it.
Oh.
It just pops up. Then we just re-record it.
I
It's
could
very
go for
simple.
days. Like I said, you give me a question and I'll give you answers. Like I said, I'm a
and
chatty.
that's why I think it's going to be really great too. We're going to be bringing people back and to hear your story of your daughter's teendom, right?
Yeah.
And what it's going to be like for her too. I don't know where Sky is going to be going to university, or if you want to share that. But
She got accepted into University of Montana in Missoula. So that's
wonderful place.
It's one of her top two.
Yeah.
So she's waiting on the others. But I was
Yeah.
like, you're going to college.
Yeah.
Regardless of what else comes in,
Right.
you are going.
But that is
Yeah.
one of those things that the two of them will be even more distant, and that's something I'd love to hear more on. What is it like for the siblings to all of a sudden their brother or sister is 1,000 miles away, and texting is helpful, right? The phone
It does.
is helpful. The Zoom, all these things that
All
we
these
have
things.
now. But it isn't the same as that ability to giggle on the couch together and those sorts of things, or share a meal.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to hear more on that as that transpires.
No, it's
and
funny you
happens.
say that because my brother and I, so it's my sister, my brother, then me. And my brother and I, over the years, we've talked about, how difficult my dad was at times. And then, and Glenn, my brother, he had it a little bit rougher than me for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I just remember saying, it's like, don't forget, when you and Elizabeth were off at college, it was just me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was screwing up more. I was smoking a lot of pot.
Yeah.
Sure,
Just doing
yeah.
all the things I was. So it was like, and as any parent, it's like he had a third, then
Right.
it's 50-50, and then it's 100%.
Yeah,
I got
on you.
all
All
of
the
the shit.
energy.
Whatever angst he brought.
That
you know?
explains a lot about my youngest brother. No, listen, Jordan is
Right, it
great.
is, yeah.
He is awesome, but I never stop to. And if anything, I hope that we promote the growth of self-awareness and
Right.
reflection with people that listen to this, and that made me think about what was his experience like, having all 100% of the attention and focus and weight of the rules, and there was no one else to we call we need buffers when we go and hang out with certain people or whatever, because it's just a lot. But when you have no buffer, what is that like on somebody?
It's a different thing. And that's where I feel a little bit for Eliza. She's, at my house, she is an only child.
Right.
Yeah.
And has been.
Magnifying glass, sometimes it may feel like it.
Yeah,
But,
I'm a pretty relaxed.
Sure.
Both Summer and I are pretty equal in terms of how we parent. So we try not to put too much pressure on her. I mean, she's an amazing kid. She wakes herself up every morning, does her homework without me having to ask her. Makes her, so all those little things that
she's
she
got
does.
a good drive behind her.
Yeah,
Right?
so we lucked out.
Yeah. Well, which is also why another reason why to do your own chores around the house, kids see that. They go, "Oh, you're taking care of something.
That's a good point, too.
Taking care of something. You know what?
Yeah.
If I take care of something, it might be a small problem at the moment, but it doesn't become bigger.
Yeah.
And if I do notice, oh my gosh, I'm behind in something, I can catch up before it becomes a nightmare. So
Yeah, and the other thing is not to be the heavy hand all the time.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
like I mean, my dad, love him.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, we were scared. Like
Right,
it
yeah.
was like you never asked Dad
Right.
to do anything. Like I want to go to use the car at night.
Yeah.
never.
No.
You
Yeah.
always did it in the morning. It's things like that you're just
Yeah.
like, I don't want my kid to feel that way. I want
It-
them to trust me and to be
Yeah.
able to
Right.
walk up to me and ask me anything, anytime. And there's the shame and the guilt that goes
Sure,
with all the shit.
sure.
But you want to be approachable.
Yeah,
I
like
think-
our generation. I'm sorry.
No,
to
no,
interrupt you.
no,
Our
please go.
generation was wait till your father gets home.
Oh,
yeah.
It was a cartoon
Mine too.
TV show.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah,
God.
it was wait till your father gets.
There-
Till your father gets. And man, it was just like I'd hear the Pinto pull up, and I go, okay.
I love that.
We lived at the back of a gravel driveway, and I'm
Oh,
telling you,
you
I
can
could
hear
hear
it.
his truck tires hit the very first rocks on that
Yeah.
driveway. And that driveway was maybe a quarter of a mile. But when I fucked up and my mom said those magic words, wait till your dad get home, that truck, that felt like that was the shortest quarter mile.
And that shouldn't be. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
get
agree.
it.
Yeah.
That,
I think it was their generations before them and
Yeah.
where them had to
It
rule
was,
with
yes.
fear.
Without a doubt.
Because their resources were scarce and like
Right.
you just like do because I said so was necessary because there was no time,
Yeah.
right? But now some of us, and not all the dads that are listening, I think there are still some dads that like feel like they don't have the time or maybe literally don't have the time.
and that is true.
Right.
I mean, you can't fault it.
No.
But try to figure out
Yeah.
how to get back in there
Yeah.
and talk to your kid about it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. And just say, hey, I'm sorry I can't be there.
Yeah.
I want to be I think even just those words, like if
Yeah.
you're on a business trip and it's like, I can't be at your choir concert.
Acknowledge
I have
it.
to be at,
Yeah.
acknowledge it. Talk about it. Kids are smart.
Yeah.
They are
They're
smart.
resilient and they get,
Yeah.
and especially now, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, the questions that Eliza says to me, I'm like, are you, like we're having big conversations
Right.
about politics.
Yeah.
She's 14.
Yeah.
I'm like, and she gets into
Yeah.
it, and I love
Yeah.
it. I
Right,
love it.
right, right.
But I didn't do that at 14.
No.
Yeah,
You
no.
know, I was, playing with my Atari.
Totally. The Atari.
I was playing Mario
I still
Brothers
have it.
3.
I still have it. I have the original Atari.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's funny when you guys were saying about your dad coming home. So
Yeah.
my dad, I lived outside of New York City till I was 11, and my
Okay.
dad worked in Manhattan, and he walk down to the end of the block, get on the bus, go to
Yeah.
the train station, go into Grand Central, and my mom would say, "Wait till your dad gets home." And it was like we'd sit there, and I could see at the end of the block,
Oh, gosh.
and here
The
comes
bus.
Dad with his
Oh, the
briefcase
wa-
and
oh,
his
man.
three-piece suit walking towards
Yeah.
us, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm fucking
Shit.
Yeah. And there's a belt.
Did you guys ever try to
Fraternity
put
battle.
books?
Yeah.
Did you ever try to put books in your pants?
I think my brother might have tried that.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
as soon as you hear that, you're
They
gonna
can
get,
see
you're
the
gonna get a
outline of the
bigger-
books,
Yeah.
and then it's worse.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Then it's worse.
Don't mess up.
Yeah.
Don't do
Yeah.
that.
So hey, guys, don't
Yeah.
strike your kids if you
Don't-
Yeah,
please-
just-
No, don't
Please
hit
we
your
don't.
came
kids.
from one where
Violence
it
doesn't-
was okay. It doesn't build.
It doesn't help.
That
we got spanked.
that trust.
Definitely got
Oh,
spanked.
for sure.
For sure.
And I mean, I can sit here and say, "Oh, I deserve that."
Yeah, yeah. There were
There's
many that I
definitely
didn't
times where I'm
get
like,
that I
just-
probably deserved.
In hindsight, you know, in the moment, hell no.
No.
But
Yeah.
in hindsight, I can definitely see it. So, but
All right.
It is, and those are where you run out, Dad. Go take a deep breath and go, okay, let me really look at the big picture.
Take
of
some
this.
space.
Yeah.
As a dad, was this really worth somebody being fearful of me coming home? Yes, in this case, or
Yeah.
no in this
Yeah.
one. But
Overall,
again,
no.
we love our kids, and we just don't like that moment, maybe.
Yeah.
But,
100%.
Yeah, well, good, man. Brett, this has been great.
Oh,
this has been great.
And I
I
love
love
that
the
we have
idea of
outer
this.
connections, too. It's super cool. Hey, it's a small world,
It is
guys.
a
I don't want to
small
paint
world.
it, but I'm all about this.
And ultimately, we're all in this together. I mean,
Yeah.
so let's not isolate ourselves unnecessarily.
yeah. And I would say to the dads out there, boys, raise your boys right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't have a son, but that's
I'm counting on you, too.
Yeah.
what you show to them is what they're going to bring into the world.
right.
you know?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah, this was great, guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
Really
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it.
This
Of course.
is super.
Of course,
No
this
problem.
is awesome.
All right.
Cheers. Spin around this rock. You only have so many days until it stops, and how you show up for your kids, well, that's your superpower. You might not know it now, but this is your Pappy Hour. Pappy Hour, let's talk it out. What's it like? What's life all about? Well, Pappy Hour, say your piece. Laugh at yourself, slap your knee.